Welcome, ladies and gents, and everything in between, to another episode of the Chelsea Unfiltered Show here on the KH No Filter Football Channel. My name is Marshalldbdx. I am going to be your beloved host today, and today I am accompanied by the lovely company of Jem from GNA TV and Will. Would you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Jem, we'll start with you.
Yeah, you probably don't know me. I'm new to YouTube, so yeah. Oh, yeah, you know where I am. Jem from GNA TV, guys. I'm here more. I'm going to be here more often now, so a lot's going to be happening in the future. Maybe with a little
big
collab.
things.
So we'll see. Yeah, good things to
Big
come.
plans.
From me.
Yeah. Love to have Jem here always. Always great company, always a smile on his face, brings a good mood. Will, what about you, brother? How you been?
I'm doing
all right.
Been
here in a while.
Yeah. Obviously, I used
What was the last time you were on the channel? We spoke after a game, I think. I don't remember what it was, though.
On the channel itself, I think I've called in a couple of times, but
okay.
As a guest, probably not for a couple of months at least. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a bit. So it's nice to have you back on, man. How you been?
Thank you. I'm doing all right, thank you. I'm doing good.
All right, that's good to hear. It's good to hear despite the amount of stuff that's happening around Chelsea and the world and in London and all the crazy shit. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. And so I'm glad to have these guys here to help me man this ship today. Just before we go ahead and get started, just some quick housework stuff. If you haven't already checked out the description, check out the description. There's links to my channel, Jem's channel, Kai's Twitter, if you want to follow his Twitter. He, KH No Filter Football before he handed it off to me, as well as our Discord. You guys can join our Discord, get some watch-alongs with us, which we might be doing some changes to the watch-alongs on Discord, so we'll see. But if you want to join in on that, go ahead and join in. We're always watching the games over there. I'm hosting them or someone else is hosting them. We're always watching games in there. Also, I have to address this because there's been maybe some confusion as far as the time of the show has gone. My clocks went forward an hour, back an hour. No, I went forward an hour. I went forward an hour, and now the government here decided to make that forever. They passed a bill that's going to be a forever thing. So UK, you guys are going to be changing back and forth, and I'm going to stick to the same time. So what, in a week maybe you guys are going to be at back to 9 o'clock at around this time?
Yeah, we're going forward in a week's time. Yeah.
So the shows for you guys in the UK will be at 9 o'clock, and then when you guys go back, it'll be at 8 o'clock. So the shows will switch, but I will stay here, solid and like a fortress, like Thiago Silva, won't move. We'll be manning the fort here at the same time. But yeah, I had to address that, and and also ahead of time, we will be having a stream next Sunday for international break. I'll plan something out for that. I have a few games that I'm looking forward to watching, especially in the US CONCACAF side of things. I'm like the only one that's excited for international break, but it is what it is. But all right, let's just get into it, guys. Let's go straight to the match yesterday. We had an FA Cup tie. Hey, Arsenal and Man United. Why was that so hard for you? Come on. What's going on with you guys? Why was that so hard for you? Are you guys trying to tell me you need to go to championship? Are you guys trying to tell me you need to go to championship? You can't put away a side like Middlesbrough as easily and thoroughly as we did yesterday. Actually, let me backtrack that brag a little bit and let's humble ourselves. I mean, the second half they didn't make it look easy, but that first half, I mean, it looked good. Romelu got himself a goal. Mason performed, which that's okay. Let's start off with that. How do you guys feel about that Mason Mount performance? Because to me, I'm 50-50 on it, because part of me is like, okay, this is a Middlesbrough side that beat Man United and Tottenham. So I guess there's something about them. There's some quality to them. I guess they're not as easy as, we make it seem to be. But on the other side too, it's still Middlesbrough, So Jem, let's start with you. What did you think of the performance overall and Mason's performance especially?
I'm just impressed that the fact that with all the stuff that's happening at the football club, to still be winning consistently 6 games in a row. we've won since we've been named as a hated football club for many reasons because of our owner. It's just funny. It's just because I just think it's mad because the players themselves have just stepped up massively, you know, and that's the big thing for me. They've been so professional, and look, we haven't been playing the greatest. We've not been, you know, silky or great to watch, but we just become clinical is the word. You know, we don't make
Mhm.
tons of chances anymore, but the chances that we are making now, we're seeming to put away. And I prefer us to be doing that and not playing that well than, you know, to making loads of chances and not winning games, which was what we was doing last season. You know, so at the end of the day, the fact that we're winning games is only a good thing. Maybe the players have got a little bit in between their teeth at the moment with everything going
Mhm.
on, and you know, I was a little bit pissed off with the chairman of Middlesbrough and the
Yeah,
manager
he was
coming out of
talking
bed.
a lot of shit, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
but do you know what? They it was all PR, wasn't it? It's all the fact that we're playing Chelsea, so we're just gonna like rub it in the wounds a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Wind
Yeah,
it down. But yeah, I'm just glad that we stuffed them in a way, just because of the way that they sort of represented themselves towards the whole game and stuff as well. But listen, 600 fans travelled down there and they made
wow.
themselves hurt. They made themselves heard the whole game. You know, they really did. I know the Middlesbrough fans were trying to kick out our noise with their drums because they had a lot of drums around this pitch and
Yeah,
just trying
yeah.
to kick it out. But you know, you couldn't stop us. You know, and you won't stop us. That's the one thing. You know, and at the end of the day, look, performance wise, I thought Middlesbrough had quite a good first half. To be honest, I thought they looked quite good, especially down the right. They looked, you know, Malang Sarr had a couple of hard moments with their right winger. He just seemed
Oh
to be too
yeah, I was
selfish.
making
Yeah,
fun of that guy because he looked like Vlahovic, and then as soon as I
Huh.
made fun of him, he he had like a really good
yeah,
moment in the game.
he was really causing many problems, and
Yeah, yeah.
you know, do you know what it was? It was one of them things of like, yeah, they came out and they tried to give it, but then it was like the nature of the beast that they were up against just took over,
Yeah.
and you know,
Quality.
you know, our quality just kicked in, and you look at the first goal with the Mason Mounts run behind, and then obviously look, Lukaku scored. I'm happy at the end of the day. He put it in the back of
Hmm.
net. That's the ball, and he put himself in the right position. Done what he needed to do in the day, but it was put on a plate for him. Don't get me wrong; it was
Oh
right.
yeah.
They could have missed it. And Ziyech's goal, to be honest, you could maybe argue that the goalie could have done a bit better, personally, in the way it was taken, but still a good shot, bottom
Good
corner.
shot.
And then we just sort of cruised because one thing I don't worry about when I watch us is that when we do get that goal lead, even a 2 goal lead, it's like we just know how to maintain games. And you look at like our defense and the way that we play from the back, and we just never look like we're going to concede, especially when Thiago Silva and Rudiger are in the team. They're just so always 8 out of 10s for me. They're always just so good. It doesn't matter if it's an FA Cup or a blimmin' Premier League game. It's just the same performance every time, and that's the big difference for us. Every player is performing at a level which is keeping us competitive through the crap that we're going through outside of it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out because that has been the most impressive thing that has been happening in the recent weeks, despite all the noise happening around Chelsea Football Club right now, despite all the sanctions, and let's get it right, like there's probably a lot of profiling and just hateful things being said towards Chelsea fans, just because you know they are fans of a club. You know, there's probably like some type of segregation in a sense. We heard about what happened at Lille after the game, how the Chelsea fans were being attacked and they were blamed for the situation. Then the media goes and spins it, saying how, oh, look what the Chelsea fans have done and started. Like, despite all that, these players still go on the pitch and put on a performance, and they're stepping up more than ever. Like, even our attack in general, like I gotta give it where you gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Mason has stepped up. He's been performing a lot better in recent games. Romelu actually played decently yesterday. You know, Ziyech just stepped up recently. Pulisic just stepped up. You know, everyone's been stepping up, and it's great to see, especially right now when the club is in such turmoil and we don't know what's certain in the future. You know, so Will, before we address Will, before you go ahead and have your say of the game and all that, I just want to mention to chat that the StreamYard link is pinned at the top. I will start letting people in towards the 45-minute mark, give or take. So if you want to be part of the show, just sit tight, hold your beer, get your popcorn ready, relax, and then when you want to have your say, come in towards that mark. But now that that's out of the way, Will, let me know your thoughts of the game overall. Maybe your thoughts on Mason as well.
Over the last week or so, well, the last few weeks, obviously, we've had a lot not really going our way. But I think the performances have been very good. Obviously, it was Middlesbrough, so we should win. And we did win. I thought the players did their job. It was a professional performance. It was everything that we needed from them. So yeah, I couldn't really ask for much more. Mason was good, as you said. Was it 2 assists he got? I think. Was it 2 assists? He was pretty
2
good.
assists.
I'm not going to overhype the performances of any player in particular because it was Middlesbrough. But to be fair, I've been more impressed with the whole Chelsea community in the last week or so and how they've reacted to this. I've not really, apart from the odd people on social media here and there, I've not really seen many Chelsea fans arguing. I think it's been, we've actually sort of got together and it's probably brought us closer as a fan base. And I'm really impressed with how we've not tried to point score for once in between our fan base. And I think the players have been more unified due to all this. So yeah, I think especially I don't even know the Middlesbrough owner's name. He's that irrelevant. I think he should show a bit more humility with what
Steve
he speaks
Gibson,
on.
right? Is that his name?
Whatever his name is, he shouldn't speak on anything politically because his club will never be on the level we are, and we'll never have to face these sort of sanctions to the level. So I think certain people in the Championship should keep their mouth shut on the situation if they have nothing to do with it.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with that. And before you continue, and he was coming out saying all these things about how like the Chelsea are a plagued or toxic club, or you know they've plagued the sport and all this bullshit. They're corrupt and their money is the reason for their success. Which, you know, let's get it right. Like part of it is, but it's also what you do with the money. You know, look at what PSG has done. You know, they spent all the money and cashed out on all these great players, and they just got knocked out in the knockout stages of all stages of the Champions League. They've actually gotten worse since Tuchel has left.
Yeah, exactly that. And I think they said something on sporting integrity or something along the lines of that. Well, if you're sporting integrity football club, then you're a pretty bad example of sporting integrity. You're pretty shit. So
yeah, doesn't he have dirt on him too? That's out there.
I don't know. Most
sponsors are. Hassan was pointing out yesterday that their sponsors are a gambling company.
Yeah, exactly.
Sport integrity.
Yeah. 32 Red, I think their sponsor.
Yeah.
Quite a big betting company. So yeah, I think I'm very proud of the club and how they've responded to this, and hopefully we have a bit more clarity of where the club's going in the future.
Hopefully. Speaking of the club's future, so Friday was the last day to put in bids for these owners that, you know, we've been hearing about. As far as I'm aware, the owners that, and Jem, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're in on this, and Will too as well. As far as the owners that I know have officially placed bids for Chelsea, there's the Bowley Consortium, the Nick Candy Consortium, oh my God, the Saudi Media, which was a late one, I guess, or it was already there, or they put in another one or something. There's the Ricketts, yeah, and then there's the Woody Johnson,
and the
Lord Cohen, yeah,
Lord Cohen.
I don't know. That one's a new one to me. You see, this is what I mean. There's so much going on with Chelsea this week that I've struggled to keep up. But also, did the Turkish guy did he end up making
he bottled it? Yeah,
he done he done what Turkey done in the Euros last time. when they were all bigged up and like, you know, it was like, yeah, they're gonna do really well, and then they ended up going out straight away in the group stage. He was like him. He gave it all the big and like, yeah, I'm gonna be flying a Turkish flag at Chelsea, this, that, and the other. Then his excuse was that he got the wrong email or something from his lawyers, or he missed the timing from, you know, in terms of when the bidding war sort of ends and that. So basically, he fucked up pretty much after all of that. But he was never serious anyway. I knew he weren't.
Doesn't sound like you are.
Well, when he's walking around, talking about it constantly, like I'm going to do this, and it's 90% there, and I'm flying to London. And on the day that he was flying to London was the day that we got sanctioned, and all of a sudden it's like he hates the government, and Roman's his best friend, and it just sounded all weird, man. Not going to lie, but yeah, still him, Matty, over the Ricketts. I'm not going to lie, the Ricketts are yeah, they're not good people.
They don't have a good history from what I've heard. Definitely don't want any type of segregation or any of that stuff in the club. We don't want any more of a reputation than we have already earned ourselves, unfortunately, because of the whole Roman Russian ties. But as of right now, from what I'm seeing, I'm liking Nick Candy less and less.
Yeah,
because he's talking too much now at this point. There's always like something about, oh, that guy's a Tottenham player. Oh, the fan base needs to have more ownership. And I don't know what I think recently he's just saying now that I'm going to spend money on the club. It's like, you're talking too much.
That's what he's doing.
Do you know what Candy reminds me of? He reminds me of he's just a fan that wants to have his pipe dream. But
yeah,
he literally contradicts himself because he wants to keep people like Bruce Buck and Marina, who are ruthless business people, and that have worked with Roman for years and years and are strict like Roman and want to run a football club the way Roman wants to. But he's now saying stuff like, oh, I would have given Frank Lampard more time. I would have given these managers more time, these players more time. But you can't surround yourself with these business people and expect it to be this... Sorry. I've got something in the back of my throat. But there's you can't expect to contradict yourself like that and people not catch on. He's just speaking too much. And I don't want someone so emotional running the club.
You must be close to Rory Jennings to be saying that.
Oh God, don't get me started on him. God.
Speaking of that, guys, and I wanted to ask you this because I feel like Nick Candy has been the main guy pushing for the fan base to be more involved with the ownership. And now we also see that, with Terry, he wants to get he wanted to, I don't know if he ended up doing this or how it works, but get a 10% share of Chelsea. That is a fan run share that will have says in it. I wanted to ask you guys what you felt about the fan base having a place in the boardroom with having a say as to where the club goes and what I don't know exactly how much of an influence they would have, but I'm assuming they would kind of have an influence of what kind of transfers we get, what happens to the managers and all that stuff. And if that is the case and one of these owners who ends up getting the club, they present this fan based a voice to be had at the boardroom. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of, as much as I would love to have a say in what happens at the club, and that'd be cool and all, I just feel like this fan base is too reactionary and too emotional sometimes to be doing that stuff. So in a sense, I kind of just don't trust the fan base to be making good decisions, and I don't think it would help the club to have that representation in the boardroom. I mean, maybe you guys can prove me wrong and propose another opinion and perspective on this, but to me, it just seems like it would be a terrible idea. And that, I mean, I'm not saying that the fan base doesn't know what they're talking about, but I feel like if we had a boardroom that had fan representation, we probably wouldn't even have Tuchel right now. We'd probably still be with Lampard. I just feel like they would, their emotional side of the game would take over on that in that sense. So, I mean, let's start with Will. Will, what do you think about that proposition?
I'm very happy with fans to be of course, I'm just one Chelsea fan, and there's lots of other Chelsea fans that might disagree. I can't speak for others, but I'm more than happy personally for them to be involved relatively with the off the pitch things, like where the stadium potentially could be if they rebuild it, to do with the pitch owning. I think the Chelsea fans actually have quite a lot of power as it is, with being the Chelsea pitch owners. A lot of fans have shares with that, and they block Roman from rebuilding it once already 10 years ago
Yeah.
or so. So
I believe I remember that.
I'm more than happy for that to stay the same. I think fan ownership is not really a good thing. I don't really like fan ownership as a toll on the club, but the off the pitch matters. Fair enough. I think they should have a say when choosing about whether to keep a manager or whether who to sign what. I think they should not have as little as involvement as possible. Obviously, I would rather a really experienced business person who is a Chelsea fan to be involved with that than just a member of the supporters trust. Because let's be honest, the supporters trust do have a say on what happens already. With obviously they were in touch with Chelsea back and forth a lot during the summer when we redid the Matthew Harding end and put in the safe standing zones and whatever. So they do have a say already in off the pitch matters, and I think it should stay that way. I think we're very lucky compared to other clubs that don't have anywhere near as much say as we do, and I think we're quite privileged in that sense. So I would keep it along the same as how it is now.
What about you, Jim? How do you feel about that?
I just think it's slightly capped anyway. Like, I agree with what Will's saying. I agree with the whole stadium thing and whatever else. I think in terms of the business, the real business nitty gritty stuff of managers and players and decisions coming and going, I don't think they would be given that sort of control, if that makes sense, or worded in any sort of way. The issue you have with the fan representatives is that even though it's representing the fans, a lot of fans have different opinions about certain scenarios. So it doesn't always mean that having a fan that represents, let's just say, for example, Rory Jennings represents Chelsea fan base. Did you get what I mean, though? Like, I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
It makes you laugh, doesn't it? But 99% of the Chelsea fan base disagree with this guy. Do you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
I think it really depends on the individual. I think you have to pick the right individual.
Of course.
It should be limited and capped in terms of their involvement of the football club. I think I agree with the things that what we said about the stadium, for example. There could also be things like improvements to the academy grounds, development centres, and things like that where you can get involved.
Oh,
and try and have your says, and I agree with all that. But you know, us as fans already have, and I agree again what we said, already have quite a lot of power in our own ways when it comes to managers staying and going. You've seen it in the past. If we're not happy, we make it very clear. When you look at the managers that have left this football club, it's usually based upon the back of a big eruption from the fan base to say that they've had enough or it's not working. And you feel it, you feel it. And when them decisions are made, I do think they're made based upon the whole how everyone is at the time. So I think the fan base itself does have a lot of like involvement, but not in terms of actually saying the word, but in terms of actually guiding it where it should be. Like you see at the moment, the love for Thomas Tuchel's mad. If you look at it, like the fan base is happy, the manager's here, he's doing his job, the support's 99.9% good. You might have the minor Chelsea fan that thinks he's crap, but we all have him in our fan base. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so it's I think it's a good opportunity for a right individual to get involved in what's going to be a long-term project at the football club, especially with the new owners coming in and their new plans to redevelop stadiums, and they're talking about building development, different training developments, not only in where we are at Cobham but across the world, so that when we have our pre-seasons and that, and we go out, for example, Saudi Arabia, they will have a development centre which is owned by Chelsea, where you can go over there with all the pitches and whatever, and we can train there, and they can sort of bring through people that way. And they're really looking to grow it around the world. So it's interesting stuff, really, for Chelsea moving forward.
Can I add on to Jem's point as well about other things that don't include just the stadium as well? I also think the fans should have more of a say on how tickets are distributed as well, and how many fans that are season ticket holders and members and non-members get to have at each game, because I think in the last 10 years it's decreased the amount of season ticket holders and members actually go to games due to Chelsea giving out hospitality packages.
Corporates,
to corporate, exactly.
You do know if we do get the new stadium, I'd say at least half of that stadium, or maybe just under half of that stadium, will go to corporate.
Yeah, and what I don't know if this will be continued, but I do expect as well under new ownership the ticket prices to go up. sort of like a power play for to try and get the pitch owners to allow there to be a new stadium built, which I guess isn't very popular, but you know, it is what it is. But I think I think with ticketing as well, fans should have more of a say.
Yeah, and I'm glad you guys brought up a lot of those points, and I honestly I can't disagree with any of them. I don't think I have nothing against, you know, there being some sort of pull power from the fan base, but it's depending on what the pull power is. If it's decisions on like who contracts, players, and all that kind of stuff, any monetary business decision like that, don't think it's very wise. But when it comes to like a stadium kind of thing, that's a pretty big decision, considering that, you know, Stamford Bridge is unique in a sense that fans actually own part of that pitch. They should have a say in that, and it'll be interesting because, you know, you guys mentioned, and this is one similarity that pretty much every single potential business potential buyer has spoken of, is that they all want to improve the stadium, because I think they all understand that Stamford Bridge is losing money when it comes to the stadium, the revenue of fans coming into the games. So this one is a big one, and I think right now, as of right now, Todd Bowley wasn't really in my eyes, but it seems more and more that he's more and more serious about this, and that he actually has I almost get this vibe that he has that Roman mentality, that like he's gonna put money into the club, and if you don't perform, he's gonna, you know, sack you. And you know, I personally know that the Lakers and the Dodgers are consistently in the top echelons of their sport. So I'm starting to actually be kind of convinced over that, you know, Todd Bowley wouldn't be a bad choice at all, despite him being an American and stuff. I still think I want to go the Saudi route. I still think just having a plethora of money and no worries is a good way to go, is a good Chelsea way to go. We'll be more, you know, maybe we'll be more like a Man City. And that's ideal, because we want to build a project around Tuchel. We want Tuchel to have his players, and we want him to build whatever system he wants to build, right? But I think whoever we fall on, as long as it's not the Ricketts and possibly not Nick Candy, I think we'll be okay, you know? Well, big up, Alex. Welcome back to the stream, bro. I haven't seen you here in a while. But yeah, I think we'll be all right. I mean, where are you guys favoring here? Where do you stand at the moment with the ownership? Like, where do you feel that the tide is strong here? Jem, go ahead and start this off.
Well, you know that 85 to 90% of the fan base wants Saudi media, and it's very hard to try and think of the negativities that come with that. And there's not many. I mean, I've been going through it quite a lot. I've been having in-depth shows about it, as you've probably seen, and stuff to try and really understand.
Which again, guys, by the way, do check out GNA TV description in the link in the description.
Thank you. Yeah, but you know, I've been trying to find if there is any negativities, and obviously the one negativity that was trying to arise from it was the links to Saudi media group and the government out there, and obviously the royal family, because of what's happening in Yemen, and obviously people dying and stuff. And you know, again, do Chelsea want that kind of that kind of owner? I mean, that was kicked out very quickly. They made it very clear that they're their own private entity. They're not actually backed or owned by the government themselves. They're completely different to someone like Newcastle and Man City's owners, who are actually linked to the Saudi government, which is funny, isn't it? Because they're not questioning them, and they're making it.
I know.
Anyway, we
the campaign against Chelsea, like the legendary Jose said.
But when you listen to what they're going to do, it sounds lovely. Don't get me wrong. You know, they've redeveloped stadiums. They want to invest into the women's team. They want to obviously keep us competitive. They want to give us that new stadium that we want. They want to do A, B, C, and D. And it's for me, it's all merry and good to hear. Don't get me wrong, because with the Saudis that they're going to be aggressive. We've only got to look at the likes of someone like Man City and the way that they do their deals. They're very financially, it's just on point. Forget the emotional connection, because there isn't any, but financially they get things done, and that's important. And if you're keeping that team at the highest order, or they're keeping that team at the highest order because they're investing, then it makes a lot of sense why people would draw to one in Saudi Media Group, or in control. But I agree with you in terms of Todd Bowley. Like, I didn't know much about him, and then again, I sort of done a lot of research into him as well in terms of who he is, what he is, what he offers. I listened to a couple of clips from him as well, and he's a very knowledgeable individual in football. Like, he actually genuinely knows a bits, but it's not like he doesn't have a clue. Like, he genuinely understands it. But when you listen to Todd Bowley, it's like he wants to go down the route of like using data and tech and not making the wrong decisions with signings. And so a lot of Chelsea fans took that as, oh, we're going to be the new Arsenal. He's not going to spend. He's already saying so it's not. What he's doing is quite intriguing, because what he's saying is that I will spend, but we want to make sure what we're spending on is the right,
almost like an FSG route, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't mind that. I don't mind us not for once making stupid signings like 75 million Kepa and bringing in Ross Barkley, and do you know what I mean, and just wasting money on stupid players, which we've done in the past. Which, let's be serious, we've been very cutthroat when we want things without thinking about it. And that makes it
so true.
But
it's absolutely true.
The truth is, for me, whoever it is, and I do think it's between them two. I don't think the Ricketts family get in with it with their reputation, from what we've heard in terms of the racist comments. A lot of rivals throw back in our face saying, well, you dig out the Ricketts family because of their racist comments and how how they are with Muslims and whatever, but you've already got an owner that's corrupt in his own way, this, that, and the other. And it's like, why are you saying no to him when you've got Roman? And it's like, well, because we don't want another issue of owners that are completely clear and corrupt in the media eye and are easy to target, and they would be easy to target, and we would look very bad for it. So, it's protecting the football club at the same time. And then there's also talks about other bids, because there's supposedly about 30 odd bids that have gone in.
Oh wow! Okay.
Nick Candy's backed by a South Korean woman, and she is really rich. Like, I'm talking about mega, 420 saying odd billion pounds in assets that she owes. Like, so she's serious money. Don't get me wrong. The issue I have with Nick Candy is he's like that kid that runs around. He hasn't got money, but he runs around trying to find the person that has it. But then he's going to lend that money off them, invest it into our club, which ain't his money. What happens when they want to pull the plug? He's the mid. All right, he might be leading it. It's not from him. Does that make sense? Like, at least with Todd Bowley, he's got his own money, but he's also got partners that are coming in with money. So they're kind of together making the decisions, maybe even though he's the spearhead. And you go to Saudi Media Group, there's not just one individual. All right, they talk about the Chelsea boy, the Chelsea guy that supports the football club that will be spearheading it, Mohammed Al Kahiji, I think it is, who he's But again, they're a limited entity. They're not owned by any one individual. There's so many other people that are involved in it, which kick it on. So, to cut a long story short, for me, it's Roman. The good news is, from what I am, I've been saying it for a while, is that I think Roman does make the decisions. Now, it's been pretty clear that on Twitter, people saying that Roman will be pointing the finger at who comes through the door, which is good, which means that he will have that choice of saying who. And I trust whatever Roman does. I don't think Roman will pass it over to anyone that's going to take the piss out of this football club and not have the right intentions moving forward. But what people need to understand is that it's not about the short term, because what these new owners will do, whoever it is, whether it's blimmin' Bowley, Ricketts, Saudi Media Group, it's very easy to get fans on side by renewing contracts like Rudiger and bringing in players in the summer to back Tuchel, because if you think, oh my God, see, we're back, this, that, and the other. Short term's not the thing for me, because I think they will all do that. I think they will all want to get on the side with the fans. They want to show that they're here to support, continue. It's the long term. It's the long term, 3-4 years down the line, when they have to make them decisions that they don't want to have to make. Do they make the right decisions or not? Is the money still pumped into the football club in the same way it was when they first walked through the door? Like, these are all things we ain't going to know until later on. But it's very hard for someone like Roman to understand the pure intentions of the new owner that's coming in and what their base is around. So for me, I am swaying more to the Saudi side. But if it isn't the Saudi side, I ain't too worried about the Todd Bowley side, because the only negative people use is that one of his partners is a Tottenham fan. Fine,
Candy pointed that out.
That's all I can think of, So I mean, for me, it's either one of them two, and if it's one of them two, then I'll back it, and that's the way I move with it.
God damn, Gem dropping the facts, people. Yo, check out GNA TV if you haven't already. My man here dropping bombs. I love it. You love to hear it, man. And you know what? One thing I need to point out too is that I don't think many people know this, but apparently a while back, Todd Bowley did have an interview where he addressed this, the Super League situation, and he doesn't want to change any of that for Chelsea either, which is another big plus because I feel like a lot of people, associate that Super League with the American owners, and Americans would want to do that. That's another thing too, that, if he wants to come in, he doesn't want to change anything. He doesn't want to do a Super League kind of thing. That's another plus for Bowley too. So, I mean, I agree with everything Jem said, essentially.
The only
Will,
negative with Bowley, Marshall, is the 87-year-old partner. If he'd have found someone else that has a load of money, a ton of money behind him, and not had him, it's probably the only thing I can ever think of about Todd Bowley is that he's put.
You're not wrong at all, man, and I agree. Like that is the only negative side. I haven't heard much that I disagree with when it comes to Bowley. Will, what are your thoughts on this all?
I pretty much agree with what Jem's been saying. Honestly, I think I'm fine with any of them, and as long as it's not the Ricketts or Woody Johnson. Even if it was Nick Candy, who I'm not really sold on whatsoever, I would give him like a chance. I'd give him like the benefit of the doubt because at least he does somewhat care. Like I don't look at him and think he's a great businessman or the one, but I think he's better than some of the other options. But for me, yeah, it's got to be either the Saudis or Bowley. I think at least with Bowley, I think we can research his history with his other companies he owns. He's wanted to own a football club for years. He's bid for Chelsea before and for Tottenham. He's obviously has done a lot of research over the years into.
He's competent, from what I can tell.
Yeah, and he obviously has probably studied about the English culture as well with football.
Yeah,
and he wants to be.
Sure.
And I think this has actually exposed a lot of people's narrow-minded thoughts, I think, over the ownership, because I think it's kind of disgusting that people are just turning their nose up to people based off of them being American. I think it's weird, and I think it's very old-fashioned. I mean,
I get it, but at the same time, it's like, it's not what people think it is. It really isn't.
But you look at there's so many good American owners out there across different sports, and I think people should just get their head out of the sand a little bit and do some research on it. But I think Bowley, we know what he's about, and we know what his partners are about as well. You've got like I forgot his name. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but he's a conservative donor who has been a Chelsea fan for years. He's apparently going to be the fan representation. So we already know about the fan representation on the board. I think this other businesswoman who's been a known Chelsea fan is going to be a part of that as well. So I think we know the most about his consortium and how he might run the club. But I think, as you said, he doesn't want to introduce the Super League. Apparently he wants to take his time with the expansion of Stamford Bridge, so we don't have to take long periods of time away from it. A little bit like what FSG did with redoing the Cop End at Anfield, and I can't remember what their other end is called. But I really like his approach to potential transfers as well, that he said he likes about the data and everything, because sometimes more is less, as we've learned as well in previous transfer windows. But obviously the Saudis are the pipe dream that I think a lot of Chelsea fans have. They've got a lot of financial backing. They've obviously got people that care about the club, and they want to. Obviously, it seems like they want to expand as well in the Middle East and change how football is, which I really like personally. I like someone that wants to expand the club and expand the look of the club. So yeah, for me, obviously Saudis are number one, but if Bowley comes in, I'm not going to complain, because he seems like and I'll kind of like having an owner that we know more about in a way. Obviously, Roman, he's the best owner ever. No one's going to match him, no matter how rich they are. But yeah, I'm just a bit nervous, but a bit excited as well over the future of the club potentially.
Yeah, I actually feel the exact way. I'm nervous, but at the same time, I'm excited because I feel like, because Roman's kind of leading this and the Rain Group and all that stuff, I feel like we're going to be left off on really good hands.
I just had
we might be better off.
Yeah,
what's up?
Just add some news to that as well. About 20 minutes ago, there was some feed on Twitter that got sent to me. Basically says that the shortlist for the bidders will be drawn up early this week, possibly tomorrow, with the winning bidder being named very quickly before the end of the month.
Yeah, CFC Maddie here pointed out something clear here. We only know 30% of the bidders technically, which I mean that's exciting considering there's a handful in there. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, guys. Before we continue on with the show, make sure if you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this in the future, let us know what you think about all these owners that may potentially come into the club. And yeah, check out all the links in the description. Again, Jem's channel's on there if you want to check them out. But
Marshall, I've just
what's
got
up?
I've just got to say as well. It's a bit off topic, but not our potential opponents. Our opponents, Real Madrid in the Champions League, are losing 2-0 to Barcelona right now.
I forgot about that, but you know what, Will? I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually going to transition to that. Man, telepathic communication.
Well, I betted on Barcelona to win, so there you go.
There you go, man.
No,
but listen, we Champions League just happened this week. We had a I actually liked that game. We were down because unfortunately, Trevor Chalobah, I don't know, I'm not going to be too critical on him. He's had a good season overall, but lately I think he's been out of the mix and he's getting back into form and he just hasn't been the same. And, he gets that foul, then puts Jorginho in a weird position where he has to handball it. And then, we get the penalty, but then we come back and we make a comeback, Pulisic looking good, with a great finish, by the way, by Pulisic. Then I think Havertz had a goal too, didn't he? I believe Havertz had a goal.
It was Aspie.
You're right. Aspie with what was it? Mason that
assisted him. Assist.
Yeah. So this is what I mean. The players have been stepping up. And that was a good game to come. We didn't even need to win it, but we came back and we won it. And it's been convincing. Tuchel's been on a magnificent run of form, such a magnificent run of form that you have United fans saying that, oh, he's going to come to United. Keep dreaming, by the way, United fans. Get your own Tuchel. You had your chance, all right? You had your chance. You decided to stick with Ali, all right? Ali at the wheel, and now that you don't want Ali, you want to be like Roman, sack Ali, get Ragnick, get all these players. You can't be us, all right? I'm just going to address the United fans with that, but you can't be us, all right? You can't be us. You can't be us. So we got the draw, and I will say, of all the paths leading to the final, I think we probably have the toughest one, which it balances out considering last season we had a relatively easy path to the final. So in our bracket, it's going to be us versus Real Madrid, which is exciting to me. It's a rematch of last season. Tuchel Ancelotti. It's going to be a good match, and I think we can win it. I think we definitely can win it. And then the winner of Man City Atletico Madrid, which on the other side you have Liverpool. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Liverpool Benfica versus the winner of Bayern and Villarreal.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
So what do you guys think, man? How you guys feeling about our chances to getting to the final? We're probably going to face, if we beat Real Madrid in the quarters, we're probably going to be facing Man City in the semis. Would you guys feel that?
Probably, yeah. I'd say probably.
Jem, I saw that smirk on your face. I have a feeling you're not so confident about that one.
No, I am actually, to be fair.
Okay.
It is not an easy route to the final, and even if we do get to the final, we're probably going to end up playing Bayern Munich or Liverpool. So when you think about it, Real Madrid, Man City, or Bayern Munich or Liverpool is one hell of a sesh that we've got ahead. But listen, I don't worry about Real Madrid. I think we can beat them on our day, and I still think, even though I do think we're better when Ben Chilwell's in the team. Don't get me wrong. And when he's not there, it's like, all right, we've got Alonso there, but it's just how we look after Reece James and N'Golo Kante and Thiago Silva.
Very true.
Like, they're just so important, them three players, in the build up to these games. And look, I'm confident we can beat Real Madrid. I wasn't worried about pulling them. I think Benzema's on great form, but we also have a world class defender in Thiago Silva, who will, I trust to be able to deal with him. Rudiger as well, world class goalie, and Mendy as well, who you saw
Mhm.
last season at home. Some of the saves he made against Benzema were kept us in the game, you know. So
Absolutely amazing
it's
world-class saves.
it's possible. A lot. It does look daunting, and it does look against us. And a lot of people might put us down as not the favourites, and I think it works in our favour. I think when we're not the favourites and where everyone doubts us and no one expects us to do anything, is where you see the best of this football club. And I just
Yeah.
think, you know, we'll beat Real Madrid. Man City. Do you know what it is with Man City? Like it's a weird one because like over 2 legs, I don't know. You know, if it was over 1 game, I think we'd really have a go. Over 2 legs, I think it's. I mean, the fact that we'll be playing them at home first. No, that we'll be playing away first at theirs and then home on the second leg. Even though it sounds a bit silly, I kind of look at it and think we've got a bit of a chance here, depending on how we come out from the Etihad. Now, if we can draw in that game, we can draw that game. You know, say we go 1-1 or 0-0 and we
Yeah.
go to Stamford Bridge, we will beat them. I've just got this feeling
Mhm.
we're going to beat them. And if we, it just all depends on what happens at the Etihad. And if we do that, we get a draw or maybe go 1-0 up, one of them ways. If we can do that and make it hard for them, then going into Stamford Bridge, I think we'll have them. I think we'll have them. We'll get to the final, and then it's just, you know, then it's just either Bayern Munich or Liverpool. And, you know, I think Bayern Munich will make it personally between them two. But at the same time, Liverpool score goals for fun, and with Salah, Mane, and Diaz and Jota, and you know you can't write them off. Do you know what I mean? At the same
Gonna be a
time,
crazy
I don't.
match.
At the end of the day, what I'm going to say is I don't think any of these teams want to face us. I think they would be like, stay away from
Yeah,
Chelsea.
yeah.
You know, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, they saw what happened last season. They saw what Thomas Tuchel can get when we play well. And for us to get to that final, even get close to that final, N'Golo Kante needs to wake up and have them games that he had on the build-up to that semi-final and final, which he was world-class elite level. And he's not been that for a while. I'm hoping
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he's going to grow into that. Thiago Silva just got to do what he's been doing all season. My player of the
Mhm.
season, by the way, by far.
Yeah.
He is, you know, he's just awesome. Rudiger, consistent. Mendy's going to have to be called upon in these games because they will have chances, 100%, the teams
Mhm.
we're up against. And then it's down to Mr. Kai Havertz, who seems to always pick up form in the latter end of these games, and him, Mason Mount as well, who hasn't been in great form. Hopefully he can start kicking on. If them two plus Kante plus Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and Mendy all having 8, 9 out of 10 games in them, we're winning. That's it. That's what I'm going to say. We're winning them games. So
And
that's not who we play.
you know what? And Will, I agree with what Jem was saying, but Will, I think when it comes to Man City, because that's the team I'm worried about the most, I think this Chelsea side going into that semis, and I'm not gonna, count my chickens before they hatch. We still have to beat Real Madrid, but assuming we beat Real Madrid and we go and face, assuming Man City don't have a howler and beat Atletico Madrid, I think we're back to the side that can beat Man City, like the same side that we were last season when we beat them 3 on the trot. I think we're back to that because earlier in the season, when we played them in January, we played them in, I believe, September or October. Our attack was not firing. Let's just get it right. Our attack was not firing. Havertz was not in good form. Mason wasn't on good form. Pulisic wasn't on good form. Callum was probably our best, attacker at that time. Ziyech was injured. Now that we're firing on pretty much all our cylinders again, I think we can actually pull a result. I don't know what you think, Will.
I think in this whole Champions League run, I think it comes down to a few factors. I know this sounds, obviously I've not spoken to you in a while, Jem, but I think Romelu Lukaku can't start. I don't think he can. I don't think you start him. I don't think you can start him in any of these big games. I think he's shown this season he's not reliable enough in those big games. I think you've got to play Pulisic if he's fully fit and on form. I think you've got to play Ziyech. I think you've got to play Havertz. I trust any of our central midfielders, like the main 3. I trust any of them, no matter what. I don't care if they're out of form because I know on the day they can step up when it matters. I think don't play Alonso at all costs. Play Azpi at left wing back if you have to. At least he's solid defensively. I think our defence we're fine with. I'm a bit worried about Chalobah every now and then making a rash decision, but we're fine. Apart from that, with this, I think we have a very good chance of getting to the final. I do. I think we will beat Real Madrid. I've seen a lot of Real Madrids over social media shit themselves a little bit over this.
They've never beaten us, have they?
No, never. Played them
Man.
3 times, I think, in our history. I think we've beaten them. We've beaten them twice, and obviously drew against them in the first 3. I think we'll play City in the semi-final if we beat Real Madrid. And I think it'll be another all English final this year. I think Liverpool will get to the final
Wow.
personally, and I
You think
Yeah,
Liverpool
it's
beat
perfect.
Bayern?
I hope we do get Liverpool in the final. I really do.
Yeah.
Because
see.
That'd be a crazy final.
well, no,
Either
after
or.
what happened in the Carabao,
FA Cup? Or not
me,
yet, Carabao, yeah.
trust me, we're going to get revenge on them, and we broke them down so easily. If we would have put them balls in the back of the net, we had 3 clear chances. Would have been 3-0 up against them. We opened them up
For sure.
I don't.
We didn't even have a Ziyech in that game too, and Ziyech. Let's not brush over that. Ziyech is also in really good form. He's still scoring goals, even though he hasn't played in a minute. So
I'm very happy with our attackers right now, especially Pulisic, Havertz, and Ziyech. I think we know what Pulisic is like. He can be a bit inconsistent, but I trust him in the big games. I do. I really trust him in the big games, especially as well as Havertz. But I don't want to sound like an entitled Premier League fan because I'm not one of those. I like to watch a lot of European football. I think the 3 English teams left are the strongest 3 teams in the competition, and I think two of those 3 will be in the final. And I'm hoping it's us, but you never know with Man City.
Man City, Liverpool,
yeah. This draw is spicy. I'm not gonna lie, man. This UCL, I'm feeling really spicy about the whole thing. I'm actually really excited because some of these games are gonna be mad, like Liverpool, Bayern, Real Madrid, Chelsea, and if Chelsea go on, Chelsea, Man City, or even Chelsea, Atletico. If Atletico managed to get a result, another rematch of last season,
it's about
that'd be
to
crazy.
Say, like, I've not really been that impressed with City like recently. I think Atletico have a few players that could really hurt them.
Yeah, they've look. Man City have the ability to drop stinkers, and they have recently. They dropped points against Crystal Palace. They They did lose, right? They lost to Tottenham, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah.
Conte got the best of him. They can be had at. They can be had at, and I think it's especially. I hate to say this, but they did lose Ruben Diaz, I think, for the season. Or he's out for a considerable amount of time, so that hinders them in the back. Having Laporte's a good defender, but I think Laporte and Stones both benefit from being with Ruben Diaz. So, we have Hassan, we have Abs here. What are you guys thinking about all this UCL stuff? I guess we'll start with Hassan since he was in here first. Hassan, what are you saying, bro?
I think personally for me, right, the UCL. We've got the hardest draw possible on the hardest side as well. Real Madrid is not really a hard draw themselves, but having Man City on our side, having an English team, let's be honest, no one wants an English team on their side. So on a stronger City, it's just like Real Madrid, I think we could get through. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not the peak Real Madrid. It's not the Real Madrid 5-6 years ago. They are like, they can't actually be exploited on the. And I was gonna say, I forgot I was gonna say that, but it's just like marking Benzema and hoping that Benzema doesn't drop a masterclass against us.
I gotta give credit where credit is due. Vinicius has been performing really well this season too, and you know what? Modric still has some wonder goals in him. He's still
the world class.
Age does not seem to be a factor for him.
Yeah, because players like him have got technical ability. They're just technically good. Like, even though they're old, they can still pop off these type of world class balls. It's just that the body cannot keep up anymore with themselves, or they can't do it in a consistent high level. I think Modric and players like Modric will only have like a year or 2 left. No disrespect to him.
That's fair as well, because I really hope they play Casemiro, and that's not me disrespecting Casemiro or anything, but I think we really play to Casemiro's weaknesses. If they roll up and play Camavinga, I would be more worried. Actually, I think he's a bit better on the ball. I think he's a bit better technically. I think he's quicker as well. I think Modric. I can't believe how good Modric is at his age and how much he impacts the game off and on the ball. I think he's...
Oh, yeah, he's generational. Players like him are generational, man.
Unbelievable player. Unbelievable. But yeah, I think they're a little bit stronger than last season, Real Madrid, just with Vinicius improving and whatever. But, I'm not gonna act like they're a bad team because they're very good. They're one of the best in the world, and there are a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people put them as their favourites even as this year, which I don't think
Wow.
is realistic. But each their own, I guess.
Yeah, that's a bit up there. Abs, what you saying, bro? How you feeling about this UCL draw, our chances, or just anything in general?
Bro,
The
obviously,
man dropping stats in the background, by the way. Man, 11 goals for Havertz. Woo! That's good, bro.
yeah, that's my star boy, innit? People.
It's better than last season. Last season, our top goal scorer was Jorginho with 7, right?
Yeah.
No, but this is all comps, innit? Our top scorer was Werner, Giroud, and Tammy. They all got 12.
There you go. And Havertz is on his current form. He's on the verge of breaking that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of games left.
Yeah.
You know, it is. You see people putting scrubs like, what's his name? I swear they've tried putting that bum at Arsenal kill flow in the same sentence as him. Moving like a Make-A-Wish Abu Dhabi and that was scrub, man. Don't ever disrespect my star boys like that. But you see, when it comes to, what's his name? You see, when it comes to this whole thing, first and foremost, Nick Candy, stay as far away from my club as possible. Man ain't trying to have no proper Chelsea BS at my club, innit? Todd Bowley, I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately, we are in no position to try what you're doing. I like your idea. You'd be my second choice, but I don't want you in it. The Ricketts family, you're racist. There's a bag of things I want to say, but I ain't got to say them because I don't have the energy to. What else is there? Give me the Saudis and the Saudis only, please, innit? The Saudis will come in and take us to that next level where we can compete on a consistent basis for the league. Because we've done well in the cups, innit? But in the league, just not been good enough, sir. And also with this whole Champions League thing, you see when it comes to Real Madrid, we beat them last year, innit? And we're doing under the same circumstances because we're not going to have any fans there. And they can't bring fans over. So basically, what we need to do is all the season ticket holders, all the people who are lucky enough to have tickets at the bridge, make it a hostile enough atmosphere as you can and get that win in it. And because I think we can beat Real Madrid over 2 legs. I think we can beat Manchester City over 2 legs. I think we can beat Liverpool in a one-off game. And we need to give it back to the Scousers as well. So, yeah, this season, we're going to do back-to-back like Drake. So just watch and wait and see people, how we're going to do it.
I like the confidence that Abs has, and you know what? Like, despite the odds being a little bit against us on all these games, I still feel we could get a result, especially in our current form. And if we stick to our current form, if we stick with the attackers firing off like they are, and the defense being as solid as it is, I really think we can go the distance. I really think that we can nick a result. I especially Man City. Jem, you gotta head out, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot, guys. Thanks for having me on as always.
Of course, man.
Big up to you, my man. Make sure you smash the likes, people, as always. And I'll be back here again soon, won't I?
Yeah, of course, man. We'll have you back. No worries. But take care, Jem. Have a good rest of your day, brother.
See you later. Take care, guys.
But yeah, freaking I know Man City's a tough draw. We haven't beaten them this season, but I also feel like Man City hasn't played this Chelsea, the one that's firing on all cylinders right now. I feel like both times we played Man City, Romelu was non-existent in the second one, and I think
don't forget
Tuchel just got it wrong in the first half.
The City that we played with, they had vengeance. Like, they were fresh from the UCL loss. Like,
oh yeah,
at that point we had nothing to lose. Like, we were just going in. Like, if we lost, we lost. You seen how they celebrated after they won 1-0 against us. It was like they won the UCL against us.
It is. Like, I'm not. There's literally, this whole thing of people are getting scared. Worried. We got man. I don't care, man. Bro, all of us, I'd like to say, watched us beat the Barca team with Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets, and then a Bayern team with Robben, Ribery, and Lahm and Schweinsteiger. From that point onward, nothing scares me. And this team's better than the team that beat them. So, as far as I'm concerned, we've gone on a nice little run. Getting, we only really lost the final, unluckily, but it's where it is, man. Like, who have we got next in the league? I swear it's
I just had it. Wow. I think it's Brighton. For Brentford,
Brentford,
yeah,
It's
sorry.
Brentford, innit? I can't say no more. Brentford are rubbish away from home. We'll beat them. Like, what
Yeah.
else is there? None of our games in the league are particularly hard. You know, obviously we've got Arsenal. That's a regular 3-point collection thing because we know what happens when it comes Stamford Bridge. Who else is there? Manchester United away. It looks hard on paper, but they're wank, so we'll slap them up. Like, there's no team from now to the end of the season apart from maybe Manchester City or Liverpool or if we get them Bayern Munich that has me actually scared because we've beaten Atletico Madrid, we've beaten what's their names, we got close to beating Liverpool. Yeah, we were unlucky against City, but we beat them 300 bounce last year. So literally, we have to realize that for all the shit we've been getting, sanctions FC, your credit cards are frozen, you're taking a double-decker bus to go France, man are gonna be surfing across the English Channel, swimming, they're doing that thing where you're skinny dipping across it and that people saying that kind of shit. For all of that, we've still been collecting wins in it. So literally it's a case of we now have to hope that everything, hopefully that gets sorted. We know who our new owner is, even though that's going to happen. And then once that happens, hopefully there's a bit more rejuvenation with the players. And from there, just kick on and end the season as well as possible. And in the summer, back this Tuchel guy. Please back him. He's the
please.
He deserves all of it. Give him forget the keys to the kingdom. Give him the keys to the kingdom. Give him the keys to your wife's bedroom. Give him the keys to everything. It don't matter, man. Just give him everything on a silver platter in it. This guy is literally the best thing to happen to our club since Carlo. So that's what we need to do, man.
No, I agree with that completely. And you know what, Nick, I want your opinion on this, bro. Welcome to the channel, Nick. But Abs brought up that our Premier League schedule is looking pretty okay, and we look at the table, and Man City are kind of within arm's reach. I'm not gonna lie. Nick, do you think I'm being a little foolish to dream a little that we might have a chance to come from behind?
No, I want you to dream more, Marshall, because look, we're 10 points behind Liverpool. But the problem is this Liverpool scumbag machine just goes on cheating and cheating, pay VAR, paying that Anthony Taylor all season long. I can't believe what they did today with Nottingham Forest. That was a penalty, and what his name was offside, clear as day. But they cheat. They have to cheat to win. Anyway, forget Liverpool. We want to talk about Chelsea, our great.
Yeah, we know how much you don't like Liverpool. I saw the proper rivals. This generation of Chelsea fans rivals, actually.
Yeah,
it might be Liverpool.
Nah, it's Arsenal for me every time. Bond
Liverpool is our most hated club at the moment. Let me wait a minute out. You know why we hate them even more? We always hated Liverpool because we've always been big rivals with them. Previous Champions League games, semi-finals, FA Cup finals, whatever. But now, after Jamie Carragher said those disgusting words about Roman Abramovich, that's what we hate them more now. They just scum to me, piece of shit on the earth.
But he's just jealous, right? He's just jealous of our success because we came in at a time where he wanted to win the Prem.
I know, but that's not the point. You shouldn't come out with
I get it.
See, what he said was unforgivable. Look at Rio Ferdinand is the only rival pounded or said good things. And, and Alashira, another scumbag, what he had to say as well. Anyway, forget them. I think, look, we've got every chance of beating Real Madrid like we did last year. Like I've said, we even have a better team this year. I'm not scared of anyone right now. We can beat anyone. And since the sanctions, we have been on a mission for Roman. Mission not to lose, just to win every single game, especially for him and the club. And, about all these bidders and so on, at the moment, my favorite is I want the Saudis because I've been hearing things about Candy, things about Tottenham fan, and we don't need that. And I knew we can all be surprised. There might be someone we don't know who Roman does know. And like, if you remember when Roman came in as our owner, we didn't know, have a clue about him. We didn't know. You know, me myself, I was thinking, bloody hell, what's going on? I was at Chelsea's, you know, and all these Russian songs come up. And, you know, I was a bit annoyed with that at the beginning. Don't forget, it took me Roman 3 years to get into Chelsea properly. And when he did, you know, he became one of us. And he always will be. So, yeah, I don't have this, you know, I prefer Saudi Arabia because, you know, they have
The money.
well, it sounds like they have the money. Yeah, and plus they have a Chelsea fan. I can't get his name right. Shalai, whatever. And he's a true Chelsea fan, and his family are all Chelsea fans. So that's the main reason. And Nick Candy, I don't want Nick Candy after what I heard what he did with how he did with you know, with the government or someone from the government, whatever. That wasn't nice to hear. You know, he's a fan, but I don't think he's a real Chelsea fan. Not as hard like us.
You know, he is. He's what you call proper
He's a real Chelsea fan, but he's dodgy because ever since Roman got sanctioned, I think he's been influencing like the sanctioning because he was talking with the government when Roman was sanctioned about taking over the club. There's
you're right.
strong
I heard about that too.
Hassan,
Actually, I totally forgot about that.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say he's not real. When you do things like that, I don't call you real. You know, you understand. I know. Yeah, and I mean, you know, you don't know. There might be someone no one knows about. It could be someone out of the blue, but we don't know for sure till it happens. And hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, we will know. Because we need to get tickets and be at the games.
True. Because you know what it is with this Nick Candy guy?
It's crazy what's happening.
He's a Rory bro, he's literally Rory Jennings' wet dream. It's all the man. You know what it is? Keep it Marshall. You know what they'll do, right? They'll get everyone together. They'll
like that.
Morris,
I understand what you mean 100%.
They'll get who else would they get? They'll get Roy Bentley if he's I swear he's still like Roy Bentley. They'll get what's his name? Who's Nick? Give me another.
I think you're right. You're right. What you're saying.
Wait, didn't he get Gianluca Vialli too?
Oh my god! Get well soon, Gianluca, though, because I know he's fighting cancer right now. So get well soon. Okay. So,
yeah.
No, they'll get Zola in.
The other thing we haven't mentioned John Terry having trying to get a little share, 10%, whatever. That'd be good for us fans. So I don't want that.
I don't want that.
What? It'd be good because we need. John Terry is a Chelsea fan. Don't forget. He was a great legend fan, but he's a fan.
No, but you look at it because
he can't run anything. He's only going to have 10%.
Listen, right? If he buys 10% and gives it to the fans, but I'm actually buying
the background.
No, but you know where it's bad.
We might have a few ex-players doing that.
No, Nick, do you know where it's bad though?
We might have a few players like that just to be in the background, to back up the fans. That's all. They won't have a big say, what the owner does. But, at least they can have a word. But check is not enough. Let's hope they keep check. The most important thing is check and Marina. Both, very important to keep. I hope. I hope the owners see that. They have to come in and let the people who run Chelsea at the moment run it still. With Czech, Bruce back, I don't care about, but Czech and Marina, I do care.
No, and I agree with that. But to what Abs was saying, and what we said earlier, as long as the owner, the fan base side of it that does do the ownership stuff, and they have influence and pull with the Chelsea Trust and all that, as long as there's no pull on like managers or player sales and incomings, I don't mind. Like if the Chelsea fans want to have an influence on the stadium, where it's going to be built and all that, and as well as is this real?
Yeah.
Barcelona 4-0 right now? Jesus.
Oh God, no, it's not. It's not real.
Don't worry.
Oh, God.
I think it is. I think it is though. I think
Oh God.
They're running it back.
So-
these men are in the
When they
mud
stack them
right
up.
now. I think Obama Yang just scored on them. But
A boomerang.
Boomerang just
Oh God.
Boomerang.
oh my god.
It shows.
This is why I
you
love
know,
having you on the
Real
channel, man. You
Madrid-
crack me the fuck
Real
up.
Madrid. The only thing with Real Madrid is Benzema, and we
Yeah.
see last season we kept him quiet. Rudiger and Thiago Silva can keep him quiet again. Once you keep Benzema quiet, that's it. We're winning that game. That's what I see.
Barcelona are having a game right now.
But the other thing we haven't mentioned, Marshall, is very
Yeah.
important. To keep Thomas Tuchel, whoever comes in,
Oh, of course.
because
That's
if
like a
anyone
default.
tries to get rid of, yeah. But if say some stupid owner comes in and wants to change the manager for some reason, there'd be we probably
Be
blow
right.
Hey,
up.
yo,
the Stamford
there'd be
Bridge.
chaos,
That's
bro.
right.
I'll tell you for a fact
Yeah.
there'd be chaos, bro.
Bro,
It would
No,
be
the
chaos.
there'd be
Protests.
bonfires.
no, listen,
There'd be fires. There'd be bombs at the bridge. I'm telling you, no one's getting rid of Tuchel.
Hey,
That
yo,
easy.
whoever does that, bro, expect a Woodward 2.0 with their houses, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what it
And
is?
the
I'll
other
say
thing
this,
is,
Tuchel's
whoever comes in has to go with Roman's plan and rebuild Stamford Bridge like Roman planned it, and
Yeah.
all the plans were approved. Don't forget, we don't want to move from there. I hear some
Nick,
fans that want
because
I was
I
gonna
think
they want
that's
a new stadium. We
I
can
think that's a
rebuild
big priority.
Stamford Bridge. That's a big
100%
thing.
because the club needs to make more money, especially now that we've been sanctioned. We see how tough the money has been and how now it's all come out in the light, right? We're 1.5 billion pounds in debt to Roman, and he just let it fly. We see now that the club isn't as sustainable as we thought it was. So I think it's big that we try to get
we need we need a
stadium.
60, 70, even 60,000 if we plan to do, like Roman did plan
maybe
to
abs.
And
Maybe.
this is why I
extension of Stamford Bridge.
This is why I didn't fear that Roman was gonna make us pay his debt, because I always knew from the start that debt was classed as investment. And I think what the Premier League is worried about, because if our 1.5 billion debt is chalked off, that means the new owner could come in and just do a Roman 2.0 if he wanted to, and start pumping in crazy amounts of money. Like, that's why I think the Premier League is scared, because they don't want someone too rich coming in. But even though that's very, very hypocritical, because they literally let a Saudi, the Saudi's king's son,
that's why
which is basically,
they can't refuse. If Roman chooses the Saudis, the government can't refuse it.
exactly,
they can't. Otherwise,
they can't, because they'll be hypocritical.
It will show how stupid they are even more.
No,
That's what you're saying, bro.
I want to say, I'll say one thing, because I know there's another man waiting to speak. So
and then we'll end it.
Yeah, you see with the whole stadium thing, I'll just be honest. I'm kind of got to the point where I think we might have to move, not because obviously, and the problem is that the reason why we haven't been able to move isn't because we never had the money, isn't because isn't because of a lack of planning or something like that. Because we all
there's
got the
lots of legal issues.
It wasn't even legal issues. It's to do with the fact that the actual pitch, the Stamford Bridge pitch, is owned by the Chelsea pitch owners. And sorry to say this, but the Chelsea pitch owners includes people like that clown Rory Jennings. So basically, what ends up happening is they be like,
but it's not. It's not about Jennings. Myself and thousands like me want to. Stamford Bridge is sacred. We've been like me. I've been going there since I was 10 years old. I've seen Peter Osgood's ashes buried in the Shedden. The other day I was there for Peter Benetti's memorial. His ashes.
Oh, you managed to go, Nick?
In the Shedden. I was there. And I met all the players. I met Pat Nevin, and Pat Nevin had great words to say. He just told us, "Don't worry, everything's been sorted. You have nothing to worry about who our new owner's going to be." So that's why I've relaxed since Friday.
And Nick, I was gonna say, right, to add to your point, man, fuck the government for not allowing us to not allow fans to go to see one of the great Peter Benettis, man. I feel like that's
but
a personal.
luckily,
that was
there was about
ridiculous.
3,000-4,000 of us who had tickets before the sanctions. But if it
Yeah.
was,
That was
there
dickheads,
would have
man.
been another four. There would have been 10,000. The stadium would have been packed. But the upper tier,
Yeah.
we were packed.
Yeah, it would have been
It just
packed, man.
goes to show that it's not even about money. It's just Chelsea at this
It's
point.
just
But
personal attack, man. But
Hassan, let me just address Al Mohammed. He hasn't gotten a chance to talk, and then we'll go ahead and end the stream. But Al Mohammed, how you doing, brother? You're on the channel. You're muted, but what do you got to say, bro? How you feeling about Champions League or Chelsea this week and the new owners? Whatever you want to say, bro. What's going on? Welcome to the channel.
Salam alaikum.
Welcome, Salam.
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, guys, you know what?
Salam alaikum.
The only owners we want is the Saudi media. We don't want any
Fair enough.
Candy Crush, and then maybe football if we don't get Saudi Arabia media. So hopefully we get them, because if you get them, our rivals are going to cry more, because like they were making fun of us. Like, just imagine if you get those guys, what will happen now? In next 5 years, the league will be owned by Chelsea and Newcastle, because they'll be both dominating. So in terms of Champions League, I'm not worried. We can beat Real Madrid. As I said, Real Madrid have a lot of old players. They can't run those guys. So we have fresh players like Mount, Pulisic, you name them, Kai Havertz. So Real Madrid, no. We're gonna beat them. So hopefully this season we get a Champions League or FA Cup. I'll be one of them. That's it. Just to break that ice. Like we lost 2 finals under Tuchel so far. So yeah, so I hate that, because this coach is so good for us. So we need to win more trophies for him to be more successful. Anyway, guys, I'll just listen to you and then I'll come back, and then when I have something to say.
Okay, thanks for having your say, brother. Appreciate you coming on. But no, I agree with him. And you know what? He mentioned something that I've been neglecting, which is the FA Cup. You know what? He's got a good point. We have another chance at another final. Hopefully. I don't know what the draw is for the FA Cup. Who did we get?
got Crystal Palace. We got lucky.
Palace.
There we go.
Palace,
So
innit?
we got Crystal Palace, and then maybe, I guess, Man City in the final, because they're still in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, City and
versus
Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh shit, Liverpool's in it too. Oh
Yeah, they're
wow,
playing
one of them
back
is
to
gonna
back.
knock. Yeah,
They're playing back to back in
wow.
1 week.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, well, once international break is done, we got a lot of football to watch, guys, for sure. But that's another thing that Al Mohammed mentioned, is that we have the FA Cup too to still win. That's another competition that we have to win, and if we win that, I think anyone coming in, any new owner, that you can't sack Tuchel. You got to keep Tuchel. You got to build this project around it. You got to back him up. Abs vouching for the Saudi media group, bro.
No. I think
That's
from now
that's a
on
good feature.
we
Yeah.
need to avoid sacking managers. Like, we need to give
Yeah,
us a manager
I
at
agree.
least three seasons, and then if that person fails, then we can move on.
Yeah. I agree.
So
I agree.
under Abramovich, first season you win 10 trophies, and the next season don't win nothing. It doesn't care. He'll sack you, that guy. We all know. So hopefully we need to just build a DNA, because like so far we have been not building a team. It's just like busy sacking players, managers left and right, which is not good. But anyway, it was successful for under Roman. So
for sure. So we want to
just
keep that
yeah.
success rolling 100%, and I think we're in good hands. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Hopefully you guys have some international games you can enjoy over the next 2 weeks. We'll be back here Sunday, streaming. We'll talk about any Chelsea stuff that has come up, any international stuff, Chelsea abroad, and all that stuff. I'll be keeping track of that stuff. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the Barcelona Real Madrid game, because Barcelona are having, oh my God, Real Madrid are just, they're like kids
Benzema
on this
FC.
pitch right now. Barcelona are just running circles around them. But yeah, guys, enjoy that game. If you made it this far, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought. If you would like
Rest
to
in
donate via
peace,
super
Peter
chat,
Bonetti, man.
Yeah,
rest in
RIP to the
peace.
legend.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you wanted to donate through super chat as well, that option is available. All the good
Yeah,
stuff.
well
Show your
said,
support.
Mohammed. Well said.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Show your support by checking out the links in the description. Check out Jem's channel. Check out Kai's Twitter, the Discord. Join us on our Discord so we can watch games together and all that stuff. And yeah, check out my channel as well, where I'm posting content. I'm mostly always live streaming there as well. So guys, thank you all for being here. Y'all have a lovely rest of your week. We'll catch you again next Sunday, same time, to talk about any updates on the Chelsea news and the ownership, as well as international break.
Yeah.
But everyone, have a good rest of your evening.
Marshall, it's a shame Liverpool had to ruin our evening tonight. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I hate this Liverpool now.
guys, have a good rest of your evening. If
take
you
care. Big up
can,
to you.
screw Liverpool, and we'll catch you in the next
Yeah.
stream.